Hey, what's happening, gamers? Welcome back to Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Mega Battle!
Woo!
Here on the KwingsLetsPlays channel. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And in the comments section below, tell us your favorite Ranger weaponry and why.
Ooh.
It's time for us to head back to action. The next episode. So, we fought the Cardiotron a couple times, and you gain a lot of experience.
Yep, totally.
So that's how Trini got level 7, and our Green Ranger friend here is getting up there. But
Yeah,
we're saving the Green Ranger for last.
Indeed.
Today's episode, I think we can do Zack and,
Oh, really?
Billy.
You think so? Because you were going to do Red Ranger and Billy.
I was.
You think
I was
we can pull
gonna
off
do
the
it,
Zack
but
and Billy?
I think we can pull off Zack and Billy. I'm feeling it.
Okay,
I'm feeling it.
Let's do it, guys. Let's do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, the second in command of the Power Rangers, Zack Taylor. All right. I'm a little nervous, but we got this. What's the worst that could happen, right? So much.
What could possibly go wrong?
It's time for us to tackle number 5, the Dark Dimension.
Ooh.
Into the unknown. All right, let's do it, guys. All right, so this is some type of creepy world. Into the unknown. Anytime you guys want to... Okay, you're just running. That's cool. We haven't got much of a choice. Let's get him! All right, Zack, you got this, bro.
All right, come on, Billy.
So we totally start demorphed, but if we want into those weird bird things, I mean, we can, throw them so that...
Yeah, exactly. It's fine.
Booyah!
Yeah, and I think actually Billy has some of, you were saying that, like in some of the older versions, he actually ducks when he punches people or something like that, or...
I love Season 1 Billy more than I like... I mean, Billy, if you really think about it, he had the most character progression of the series. He went from kind of this wimpy nobody to, tech guy, and then, especially after Amy Jo Johnson and some other characters left the show, he got more of like a leadership role in the Power Rangers, almost being like the second in command. Even though in, Zoo Ranger, the Black Ranger was supposed to be the second in command.
Yep, totally.
Okay, so we can't do that yet.
I mean, yeah, even in the Power Rangers first season, Zack had amazing fighting moves, so he even had his own style, so...
Well, the Mammoth Ranger, well, yeah, he had his own unmorph style, but his morph style was, I think his name was Gosei in Zoo Ranger, and he was like the hard-hitting Mammoth Ranger.
I see, yeah, because they would have taken the stunt actors from the Zoo Ranger. That makes sense. Like,
all they do is, that thing you said, you didn't understand why they just redubbed the Japanese stuff, like an anime, for Power Rangers.
Yeah.
The reason why it wouldn't work is because you'd have a bunch of teenagers, or maybe adults, doing a bad, like, martial arts dub. So instead what they did, because their mouths aren't moving, I mean, Saban was kind of genius if you think about it. You add the Saturday morning cartoon feel of like a live action show like Saved by the Bell.
Yeah.
Bring in Bruce Lee and Chuck Norris, robots, adventures.
Yeah.
A little bit of teen drama, before the CW, and you had Power Rangers.
Yep.
And it was brilliant, It took American audiences by storm for about almost 2 years. And then when they replaced the cast, it kind of like, it hit its stride, and Saban was trying to think of ways that he could keep the show alive and things like that. So.
Well, like, I thought it was really interesting. You were telling me that Billy originally was one of the people with the idea. Well, okay, I'm going to keep going back to this, of basically, like going on protests and stuff. Okay, yeah.
Guys, let's jump at that giant rock. If we hit it right, the geyser will shoot us up there. Now!
Let's do it, guys!
And now we're on, elevator level like turtles.
Oh, it is like turtles.
So Amber's playstyle is a little bit different than mine. She likes to be unmorphed because you actually get more health.
Yeah, I like to save my health because then I can actually, like when I get down to a certain health, then I can actually morph and then I get some more health. But yeah, I feel like Billy, I guess he stayed on because he originally actually was going to protest like the wage thing, but then he decided not to. And so then he came back on. And I thought that's
there
what
were
was
4
telling me.
people that planned on like you know, getting Power Ranger unionized.
Yeah.
And Austin St. John was like one of the last people brought on board, but
Yeah, it wasn't actually their idea, but
No.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, that was interesting. So he stayed on, and then you were telling me that Billy actually ended up even becoming like one of the few adults in that kid movie or kids show, which I actually haven't seen.
Aquatar
that.
Rangers.
So yeah.
Yeah, he used some type of gadget to
And then
make himself like an adult after Lord Zedd made everybody little kids.
And then for the longest time, like, some people actually thought that Billy might end up being the White Ranger because he was doing all this stuff behind the scenes.
You're getting into a different show now. Now you're talking about Theo. He was going to be the Gold Ranger.
Gold Ranger. And then it was like,
teasing.
he was kind of like, almost like Batman. Like, people didn't know what he was doing, but then it turned out that he wasn't. It was
He was
somebody
actually
else.
building the new Super Zeo Zords.
Yeah.
Which were like, basically think like GoBots. That's what they look like because the Zeo Rangers had like stars and shapes on their faces.
Yeah.
So the robots that Billy created, the Super Zeo Zords or whatever, they were really cool robots and everything, but they look like GoBots. The GoBots.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But I didn't watch the first season of Zeo. I tried to a little bit. I felt kind of bad for Billy being like, you know, reduced to basically like a alpha role.
Oh, right, yeah.
Working in the command center, and eventually he learned that not just second string non-ranger actors make less than everybody else.
Yeah, so it's kind of like I thought you said like he didn't really want to wear all the suit and everything, but then maybe he found out later that it really wasn't that great if you're not a
The
ranger.
rumor back then was like he was arguing that the Super Sentai, they don't always do demorph fights. In fact, most Super Sentai are just like civilians and they get fantastic powers when they henshin or whatever.
Yeah,
You know?
that's so weird though, because I thought he was like a gymnast in real life, so you'd think he'd want to do as many fights.
I know,
as
but he
possible.
was. You have to remember how old he was by the time Zeo came out.
That makes sense.
He was in his early to mid 20s when he played Billy for the first time.
I think, like, well, Billy and Kimberly at some point really, I mean, well, Billy still wanted to do the show, I guess, but Kimberly at one point didn't even want to do it anymore. She was just like, like you told me, like, she kind of said to Saban, like, is it okay if somebody else is the Pink Ranger? And that led into that last thing that we talked about last episode.
Yeah, during part of the second season, even before like the strike that basically, you know, Austin was like, you won't, you know, fire us because, you know, the Red Ranger and the, you know, we're the originals and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
Good luck replacing us.
Like, you can't have the show without Trini.
We'll
Zack,
be back,
and Jason.
you know, after a couple days or whatever, and he just replaced everybody. That was a neat ride. That's all they're saying.
I think that is so crazy. Like, now that I think of it, I totally understand why he let them go, because it was almost like Jason challenged them, like, oh, you won't be able to survive without us. So it was like just a bond that was just like, oh, won't
Challenge
I?
accepted.
Exactly, because like if he just left and was like, oh, you need more we need more wages, come on, you really need to do this. It's like, I thought, oh man, Saban was such a jerk for doing that. But now that I see it that way, like when he said, you know, like, oh, you can't do the show without us. Okay, that totally, for a guy who's a billionaire or whatever, that's like, okay, no you didn't. like I'm gonna prove you wrong. It almost felt like he had to replace them to prove them wrong. Like, oh yeah, you know, so.
See about this.
But, yeah.
But because Austin St. John was underage, like, they had to hold him to the contract for Zeo. That's part of the reason why. It wasn't, he was a fan favorite, and they needed a ratings boost.
It was also because of his age.
But at the same time, he had to be held to, like, some of his contract.
Wait, what happened to Zack? You said that Zack came back to do voices on Monsters
ADR
and stuff.
sessions, yeah.
That's so degrading. Like, I would think you'd want Zack back. I think they should have brought him back as a character.
The
like,
only one who
his
didn't come back, and I think paid some type of fee to get out of her contract, was Twee, because she did a lot of like martial arts movies and things like that. Her career was actually doing pretty well.
Yeah.
So,
do we need to do this or not?
let's see.
All right.
Yeah, we do.
Okay. Yeah.
What is this? That's cool.
But yeah, I feel so bad, like, that Zack didn't come back and stuff. That would be...
Well, he came back to guest host something.
But, I mean, I could totally relate to, like, I don't know, like, I need to go watch when Jason actually came back, because, like,
Zeo Rangers Season 2.
Yeah. Because I really like how he basically made, like you said, it kind of like the first part of that season felt a different way, and then when he came back, everything kind of felt like kind of how it was in the first like season of not exactly, but kind of the way it was in the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. But I need to go see it because yeah, I haven't seen that when he came back, and it feels like a real leader kind of helps everyone, you know, to show off their strengths and balance each other out. But like a leader that's not very good is like more like somebody who just makes everything about them. So I kind of like a leader should kind of be in the background and help other people to shine, you know what I mean? And I think Jason did such a great job of that. That's why I think like some people didn't really see him as a leader, because it's like, oh well, he wasn't showing off. It's like, but that's not what a leader does. So
he was actually kind of like the Rangers trainer in a sense, because like he even taught Billy how to fight.
Yeah, exactly.
He saw, when you see like members of your team struggling and things like that, you're supposed to help them out.
That's why I got so confused when everything got, you know, crazy in the second season, because it's like he was teaching people and then suddenly it was like, oh, they're replaced. Suddenly nobody needs a teacher anymore and they're magically going to grow in their skills. It was just like the whole formula of the show, like, was changed. So it's like everything.
I stuck around and I watched like, I would say, I watched like maybe 5 episodes after the originals left.
Yeah.
Like, after I was like heartbroken and I was just trying to see, you know, if the show would happen. Basically, what I noticed, and you know, I've read about this from like other Ranger forum sites and Ranger board and things like that. When the Rangers would attack like a bunch of putties, Goldar or somebody would show up, and Tommy would just go after him and like 2 other monsters by himself, and the camera would just follow the White Ranger while the other Power Rangers were off screen. You would hear them fighting, but you would never see them.
Yep. So, if anyone wondered who owns this place?
Bet you it's Lord Zedd.
Whoa.
Yep.
That's some statue.
Somebody's got an ego.
I see it now. The guy who almost tore us apart has lured us into his trap. Very clever.
Hey, I think about this. If those are the headquarters, maybe we can find a way to get back to the Earth there. No, don't say that we have to go inside.
We will be in danger here or there, but at least in that place, we'll find a way back home.
So we have to go inside. Alright, guys. I really love being a Power Ranger. Cut the chatter, guys. Let's do this. Loading screens are getting, well, longer. Because we're nearing the end of the game.
Indeed.
Or less.
Alright, I keep getting the Gold and White Ranger mixed up. So, Jason came back as the Gold Ranger.
Right, and you got a theme song, and if you ask anybody who the best Zeo Ranger was, everybody says Gold Ranger. Gold Ranger power!
Okay, you and I were talking about this, that anyone that they had gave a theme song to, basically people would assume was the best Ranger. Like, if they had given a theme song to Trini and nobody else, like, even if all the fights were with, you know, the Green Ranger or whatever, or the Red Ranger, like, everyone would be like, oh, Trini's the best. Or if they had given a theme song to Zack, everyone would be like, oh my gosh, Zack is the best Ranger. So I just feel like it's kind of like you said, subliminal messaging, because it's just like, okay, the person has a theme song, so it's kind of like showing you that this person is, you know, the best. So
did you also notice that Jason's character, when he came back, also had a gold shield like Tommy did? Except he was the Zeo Ranger.
So he also had a gold piece of cloth attached to his suit.
No, his suit actually looked better, like because they were actually using the props from O-Ranger.
Oh.
And it's kind of interesting. Do you want to know what Jason's the name of his O-Ranger is in Japan? King Ranger.
Oh, King Ranger. Oh my goodness.
Yep.
Wow. Yeah. I feel bad because Zack could have been like, he could have got more love, but yeah, I mean, like, I understand, like, Billy probably, I don't know, he probably wanted to stay on because he needed a job, but yeah, it's so sad.
Well, you remember you know what happened to Billy though, right? Billy, after he got like kind of fed up with Saban and some other stuff that was going on, and Austin St. John was back. I mean, I don't think David Youst and Austin St. John didn't like each other or anything like that. Everything on the set of Zeo was fine.
Oh yeah, he got replaced by Adam then. Oh yeah, what were you gonna say?
Well, Rocky did take away.
Rocky, not Adam. Oh
yeah,
my gosh.
No, Rocky. Adam was amazing in Zeo. I mean, he started to get some screen time, solo stuff in, you know, especially after they learned that Rocky wasn't going to be the ample replacement of Jason. He didn't have the same charisma. He didn't have the same intensity. You know, and he also wasn't as big and
it was
meaty.
like, we tried to,
But they found a breakaway star in Johnny Young Bosch, and the Black Ranger actually, you know, he really started to shine again, like, back during when Zack was around.
I really would have brought Zack back. I mean, come on. Like, bring him back as a voiceover person? Oh my gosh.
My favorite role that Johnny did was the Green Ranger, like... Everybody says that Tommy was the best Green Ranger. I love the Zeo Green Ranger more than Mighty Morphin. Like,
I didn't even know that I guess there were more Green Rangers.
Well, yeah, but he was just basically, like, supposed to be the Black Ranger.
Oh,
but, he was just part of the team, but I'm saying, like, he got a lot of, like, solo stuff. He also came back and did a lot of cameos with other Ranger shows.
Yeah, I can understand.
And he was an anime voice actor, so, I mean...
Oh, I know. That's really awesome, actually. I like it when, you know, people can just, you know, be able to do other things and just kind of take it in stride, because it's just, like... It's really, I'm sure it's stressful to, like, you know, you never know how long you're going to be on there. You're going to be, I mean, you can't be a Power Ranger forever. You can only be on for a couple seasons and then...
They actually asked to get out of their contract during Power Rangers Turbo, and then they brought in what would be the new way of doing Power Rangers is every season you bring in a new group of actors to play Power Rangers, and that started with the final power transfer of the original... Or not the original, the next group of Rangers that replaced the originals.
But you know what I was just thinking, like, I think, like, after Kimberly quit, right? Or she got her powers transferred.
Yeah, Billy was the only...
Billy was the one
one who stayed for the entire Mighty Morphin run.
And I'm guessing, like, at the end,
of the original 5.
Maybe the reason why he got replaced, I don't know why, but I'm thinking, like, first of all, he kind of didn't want to be in the suit, but also he's probably was the oldest person there, and they probably, like...
Oh, he would have been in his mid to late 20s by the time Zeo was doing stuff.
Like you said, when Jason came back, he was actually much younger than everyone else.
He was like 19 or 20. Well, he was the same. He was around. He was just a little bit older than Steve and Johnny because they were, you know, they were young too. But I mean, you could really believe that the Gold Ranger was a high school student, whereas Tommy and Kat and some of these other guys, they looked like really, and especially by the time they did Power Rangers Turbo, I mean, it just looked funny to see those guys in the suits because they had like graduated high school and they were like out of college and they were still Rangers.
Because,
it was just
like we were talking to one of our friends, they were supposed to be teenagers with attitude. That's what the original like that face guy said, that's what they were looking for, and those were the people that could fill the suit. So it's like if you're like 30 something, you're not really a teenager with attitude anymore. Whereas like
they were mid to late 20s by the time Zeo wrapped up.
In their 20s, but like when Jason came back, like you said, some of those people were 25, and Jason came back and he was just like 20.
Yeah.
Because he was like so much younger than everyone else.
He was 17 when the show started.
So it totally worked for him to come back, but like someone like Billy, who's like started out and he was always kind of older. It's like he was then like, you know, up to like 25 or whatever. I don't know how old he was, but yeah.
He was pretty old, and he aged like a lot faster than some of the other guys.
Yeah, I mean, he kind of looked buff like from the very beginning.
Like Rocky looked, well, yeah, they made him wear baggy clothes and stuff like that, so he would kind of, you know.
Yeah, I mean, like he played a nerd, but he kind of like you could kind of tell he wasn't like scrawny or anything. Though.
No, the guy was meaty.
Like, wait, what did he do? He was like he was a gymnast, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, like, they made him... That's kind of weird that they made a complete personality, like, change, like, after...
Well, you know that Zack was or Walter Jones was supposed to be the Blue Ranger, and David Youst actually applied for the Black Ranger. And when they were, like...
Oh.
That's why in Power Rangers, the movie that's coming out, Billy is, you know... he's the African American, and Zack is essentially the Adam Park.
Yeah, that's how they were gonna do it at first. Because now people look at it and they're like, "Oh my gosh, that's so stereotypical," or something like with the different colors and stuff. But in reality, that's not how it was originally at all. And then they just like switched it right before the show started.
So if you really think about it, I mean, the names of the characters are still in the same role. Jason is a red, Billy's blue. They just changed like. The nationality of some of them, and boom.
I'm just so glad that I can't remember the actor that plays Zack, but
Walter.
Okay, Walter, yeah, Walter Jones. Walter Jones, yeah. I'm just glad that he and Jason are friends in real life. That's really cool. I like that.
They lived together like for the longest time.
Wow, I did not know that.
Him, David, and how did you get up? Oh, you can wall jump?
You can jumble jump.
Nice.
You know you can wall jump, actually. Somehow I just sprung up here. I don't know how that happened.
That's okay. So this is Lord Zedd's base, huh?
Yeah, but I didn't realize you were telling me that actually when they did that protest thing, Jason was actually in his car for a while, which was pretty crazy.
Yeah, he said...
Some people say he was.
He said he was living in his car. He was also... He had some family
van down by the river.
Yeah, he was a motivational speaker. I don't know what he was doing. He was just
but it's like it's like almost like, oh my gosh, like he was, because he really felt it was the right thing to do. Like this is the right, and actually I think they all did. I think Walter and Trini and everybody did. But you know, like you were saying.
I mean, now I'm pretty sure Power Rangers is unionized now.
Yeah, and then
because people can get hurt, and you know, there's all kinds of things that can happen on the set.
You were even telling me, because I was saying, what happened to the story? Because I don't understand what's going on. And you were telling me that a lot of the writers from the first season got fired. So it's like, this makes so much sense, because I was just like, where's the storyline? Because I have no idea what's going on anymore. Like, nothing makes sense, whereas in the first season, things actually made sense. So somebody was writing that really well. I don't know what happened to them, but... Yeah, I mean, when you have to do what you have to do, sometimes you have to stick to your principles, so I respect that, but yeah, it's also pretty, you know, I don't know, it's kind of like, I bet after they did that, they were like, oh crap, like, they probably thought they would hire them within the next 2 days, and then it didn't happen.
Well, yeah, they were only going to walk off for like a couple days until Saban, like, caved in and basically got the union stuff for the crew and Power Rangers too, because Saban was making a lot more than even his partners that helped him, you know, get Power Rangers over to the States.
Even when I'm watching, like, you were following the new Blue Ranger and everybody like that, and I was just like, oh, they must make a ton of money, but you were
Yoshi?
Yeah, you were telling me they don't, even today, they don't make a lot of money. Like, they have to actually buy their own... They have to buy a wardrobe of, like, all blue clothes and stuff like that. Like, they don't really... Like, Saban doesn't really provide a lot of stuff. Like, you just go there and then film.
And you live in New Zealand for, like 11 months.
I was looking at one of their apartments, one of the Ranger people apartments is, like, so small. And I was like, aren't these people famous? Like, don't they have, like, tons of, like, I don't know. And then you're just like, no, they don't get paid a lot. I was like, really? So, yeah, I guess Saban makes tons off of them more than the amount that they pay people, so.
The Golden Warrior. Wait, what? Oh,
Goldar!
Oh, okay. Oh, wouldn't that have been cool if they had the Gold Ranger in this, Luke?
Well, I mean, essentially we are collecting the Zeo crystals, so it's possible.
Ooh, interesting.
You're gonna be collecting the Zeo crystals in the new Power Ranger movie. Oh boy.
Oh, I remember somebody complaining about the new Goldar.
Yeah, the new Goldar looks terrible. It's just a being made out of gold.
Yeah, this one has got a lot of personality. So I don't understand why Billy's personality totally changed. Like,
He had a lot of character growth.
Okay, because he was wearing glasses and he was like afraid of everything, and then later on he. Yeah, you're right.
I think David Youst did like a great job with Billy.
Yeah. That's awesome.
All right, they're really sloppy with Lord Zedd's putties. I mean, they don't look as basically. You know the putties came from Zoo Ranger, right? So when they made Lord Zedd's enemies, which weren't from any Sentai series, they basically changed the color of the putties, and they made them wear these vests that said Z on them. And the only way you could destroy the putties is if you punched them directly where it said the Z. And Jason was the one to figure it out when they first got attacked.
Interesting.
But I'm sorry, I would have loved to see... I don't think I would have had as much beef with the second string Rangers for replacing the originals if basically the Power Rangers got the Die Ranger costumes, because then if they ever did, and this is why Saban, you know, kind of hit himself in the foot a little bit, they could never do a crossover with Zoo Ranger and Die Ranger or O Ranger or anything using the Mighty Morphin characters, because not only were those Rangers the same group, you know, but it just ruined a lot of stuff.
It felt sort of like they were getting fired. It's almost like it felt like they wrote it into the script like they were going away, but it's almost like everyone knew like they were getting replaced. Like, it's just like instead of being replaced, it would be great if you came on with a new team of Rangers. I agree. Like, it would be great, because then you could do a crossover between the first season and the second season. Rangers could fight together.
Because the Ranger crossover episodes are actually really cool, and the crossovers they do in Sentai are awesome.
Yeah,
but I mean, you can't do that when the only one that I don't even know if they tried to do it, but the Rangers of Aquitar worked with Mighty Morphin a little bit. That was an actual crossover episode between, I don't know the name of the Ninja Rangers. But they did have one with Zoo Ranger, and that was an actual, you know, brought the characters back from the previous show, and they were on the new show for like 1 or 2 episodes. It's kind of cool. I have no idea.
Yeah, I mean, I think the whole rivalry thing was kind of like they had to have a rivalry, because in the first thing, it was like they were brothers. The green and red people were brothers, so it's like they told them to have a rivalry, and maybe that like translated and became a rivalry in real life. I have no idea. It was just kind of weird. I don't know.
There we go. Now we can attack the big gold monkey. Nope, now we can't. He's got a shield. But he doesn't look happy.
No, he looks pretty angry.
He's an angry flying monkey. Chill, Goldar.
I'm always gonna think of Blue Ranger as like Donnie does machines, basically.
Yeah, basically, I mean,
even though Donnie's perfect, but yeah.
But like I was saying, I would have had no problem with the originals leaving if they had like gotten the other powers, because think about it, they could have been like, not only were they teasing new Zords, but I mean, maybe they couldn't get the rights to it or something like that. But if you really think about it, the second season and the third season of Power Rangers was so much more expensive to create, because they had to make and film their own stuff to coincide with the monster battles that they got from Sentai using the Thunder Zords and the White Tiger Zord.
Yeah, I mean, that White Tiger thing was crazy because Tommy was acting insane.
Because he was actually being, he was doing a little kid.
Yeah.
Because that's who the White Ranger is.
And it also, like you said, like before, I was saying, oh no, the White Ranger costume looks great. But then when you showed me the Sentai version of that, I was like, oh yeah, the White Ranger costume on that looks exactly like the other Ranger costumes. You know, because it's a new It was supposed to be the next, you know, wave of Rangers. So it's like
Sentai.
it didn't make any
Super
sense.
Sentai. Yeah.
It didn't like.
But I'm pretty sure that the Thunder series or the Thunder Squad or whatever they were called was too dark to be adapted over in the US. I mean, Zoo Ranger, you can tell the difference between Mighty Morphin and, you know, it's campy fun, and, you know, sometimes there's a lot of excitement in the old season 1, but it was a serious show. Like, incredibly serious.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean...
And the show that came after it, Die Ranger, or if it was the Ninjas or whatever, was also a serious show. So they had to find a way of making it work for children's television. And I'm just saying, like, I would have no issue with the second stringers replacing, you know, Jason, Trini, and Zack if they had different costumes. Like, if they went with the Die Ranger costumes, because then you would have been hyping up not only the new Zords, but also new powers. I mean, that would have been a huge thing. Plus, then for kids everywhere, the original Rangers would always be the original 5 and Tommy.
Yeah, exactly.
And, like I said, if you wanted to do something with them again, you don't have to just have them randomly appear like in Forever Red and be like, how did Jason get his powers? And then all the crazy fan theories that Tony Oliver and all those other people said is basically right. We just kind of Xerox the Rangers, and the original 3 still had their powers. And Rocky and Adam and Aisha basically had copies of it.
Yeah, and then they even had different animals too, which was crazy.
Right. Well, they did that too because they were... The reason why they changed the powers is they had to because they were losing their audience, because people always saw Jason as the Tyrannosaurus Ranger, but
yeah,
now you have Rocky as remembered. He's not remembered as the Tyrannosaurus Ranger, he's remembered as the Ape Ranger or the Red Ranger power, because he has 2 different morphs that he got.
Oh my gosh.
Because people just, you know, it didn't sit well with people.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know, it just felt like the same way when Optimus Prime was just like...
Oh yeah, the Rodimus thing? Yes.
Like, it just felt so, like, I think it's like they thought they were doing something good, like, for ratings, and then they found out,
They
like...
scarred so
they were just
many
like,
kids.
no, wait, this was a terrible mistake, let's go back in time. Like, oh my gosh.
Well, that's part of the reason why they brought Jason back as the Gold Ranger.
Yeah.
They were trying to fix their mistake and also to bring back a lot of the fans that left.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, oh my gosh, I am totally dead. But, I mean, the thing is, like, obviously Saban is a genius. I don't know how he was able to just somehow just know, like, what kind of things would just translate over into, like...
I have no idea how to break this monkey shield.
I do not know either. It's pretty...
I mean, is there any way to punch it?
Maybe, like... weapon?
Whoa, whoa, whoa!
Oh my gosh, this is crazy.
I mean, he's almost dead, but... Ah! I hate that crystal thing, that's annoying. Nope, that didn't work. Why? Why?
Oh, I'm kind of excited for the new Rita Repulsa, though, because...
The Power Blaster to the back!
Nice, good job.
My Emperor, I failed you! Quit your sibling! I can't do Zedd.
Good job!
Time to take care of the gold monkey. He looks angry. Look at his smile more, Goldar. Now at this point we would be using the Thunder Megazords, but that's not gonna happen. I always find it funny when we played as a Green Ranger and we still end up using these Zords. So like, no Dragon Zord, really? Oh, whatever.
Yeah.
No Ultra Zord either.
You know what I was just thinking? Like, the reason why they made the Green Ranger so intense, like, in the Sentai series...
He hated his brother.
...was because he hated his brother, also because he was gonna die, so he had to go out with a bang. But it was like, when they did not have him die in the Power Rangers, that bang was like a long, slow... like train wreck or explosion that continued for like an entire season. We're supposed to be a bang, so it was like, so it was just like, you know, like it made more sense in the Sentai version, because it's like, okay, it kind of showed, okay, this person is very powerful, but they're evil. So, you know, you're supposed to be, you know, slow and steady wins the race. You should be a good person and just try your best. And then it turned out like evil didn't really win in the end, and he ended up dying, kind of to show like you shouldn't be evil. But then it didn't really translate because they didn't have him die, so it's like there was no moral like.
Did you know for a lot of fans of Power Rangers, they kind of like don't see the second season as anything? Like it goes Power Rangers season 1, and then they just go right to Zeo. Because it just...
Yeah, I just got so confused because I just didn't understand what was going on.
In fact, do you remember when they brought Power Rangers back on ABC when they canceled Power Rangers after RPM for a while? They only went up to the Evil Green Ranger saga, and then they were going to do a couple more episodes, and they weren't even going to try to HDify the second season of Power Rangers. It was just going to go the first season of Power Rangers, then right into Zeo, and, you know, just do kind of like a quick synopsis of what happened, because they realized that it was full of so much filler. After the other characters leave, it became a filler series. But the other Rangers, they proved themselves to be really cool as Zeo Rangers. You know? It just felt like they were trying to replace the other Rangers. They weren't really being themselves.
I really feel like...
Whoa! That's a lot of XP.
And I think it's just awkward whenever you have a power struggle. Like, it made sense to have a power struggle for a few episodes for the Sentai, but then when you carried that power struggle onto almost a season and a half, it just got so annoying and like, uncomfortable. It's like when you have a teacher and then you're, like, competing with two teachers in one classroom. What did he say? We caused all of this?
My ship crashed in front of you when you stole the jewel that was inside!
Oh no!
That jewel was meant to power one of my towers, and you kept that from happening. I could have picked any of your big capital cities to show you my greatness.
Sure, whatever, Lord Zedd.
But since you decided to take away my key, I decided to destroy your city and take energy to fulfill my great plan. That will make you learn not to mess with Lord Zedd.
That's a great name, Zedd.
That's awesome. And you won't be able to stop me now that you're trapped in the dark dimension. You'll never return.
Yeah, he really looks like that one, like, little, or that one, in that one, oh my gosh, show we were watching, Kamen Rider show.
There has to be something we could do. Whoa, what's happening?
I forgot that red guy on the train.
Wait, this thing, now that I can see it better, it looks like a giant door. Yes, it's open. Run through the portal. I'll try to keep it open. Oh great, he's gonna sacrifice. Nope, he's coming with. It's like, Green Ranger heroically sacrifices himself. We did it, Tommy. We're back on the Earth. Nope, never mind. Tommy?
Tommy, say something.
Used all his Green Ranger power. Guys, I think he's not breathing. Rangers, remember how we healed him from Rita's spell? Maybe we could do the same and save him. Yeah!
Yeah!
Wow, that's a handy fix-all.
Oh, Tommy, you came back to us.
Guys, look at this. What are we looking at? Oh, man.
Our home, it's nearly been destroyed. It's terrible. It's a disaster.
And it's our fault. What? Because we tried to defeat Lord Zedd, he chose to attack our home.
Yep.
Always thinking, Jason. There's no way we could have known he would do this. We have to find a way to save everybody. You guys can totally do it.
Yeah, we can do it.
It's gonna be a tough fight. Our energy is still really low. I know, but now we have to finish what we started.
How? It all looks so impossible.
Guys, I know we can do this. Kimberly, you are very versatile, and your talents have helped us. Billy, you're very smart. I mean, you hacked an alien station. That's amazing. Zack, you kept your spirits up when it was needed. You know how to motivate us. Trini, you taught us what we must not give up, and yes, you were absolutely right. And Jason, I see why the team has followed you from the start. You're a true leader. We're all part of the same team, so let's go for it. Yeah, let's get back to action.
Oh yeah, back to action.
Can somebody take a picture of Tommy and Jason like that and send it to JDF? See what happens. Oh,
that
my
reminds
gosh.
me of the line that you told me they had JDF say in the crossover
That's
movie.
a discussion for another time, because that
maybe
will
next
take
time.
way too long. But anyway, guys and gals, thank you so much for watching another one of our Power Rangers episode. Join us next time for the finale, Fight for the City. And just a reminder, we will be doing a live stream of the White Ranger and some of the other Rangers, and just going through the entire game again. But have a great rest of your day. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. You can check out another Power Ranger episode here, or a past Power Ranger series that we did here. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you tomorrow when we get back to action.
See ya!